democratic socialism. Then also there are many different type of democratic social democrats, which is the most common party is Social Democratic Party of German. That is I think they have more than 150 years. And also Labour Party in United Kingdom. But the social democracy is practiced a little different, depends on the countries. They have different interpretations and implementations of the social democratic principles. So that leads to a range of policies, approaches to governance. They are focusing to create fair, economical, fair, and social justice by balancing with benefit of capitalist economy. They are also more focused on economic democracy and welfare state. Economic democracy means social democrats, they believe in regulating the economy to ensure fair distribution of wealth. They support policies that promote economic equality, that includes progressive taxation, that tax is depend on the income of people. Also, social welfare programs and labor rights. Those are the focus they do to develop economy democracy. And welfare state means it is core value, core principle of social democracy. That is establishment of comprehensive welfare state. That includes also universal health care, right? Education until completing of the colleges. Also, there are unemployment benefits and pensions. These are total tools which ensures the basic needs are met for all citizens regardless of their economic status. Okay, I'll keep going with more economic democracy. The economy to ensure fair distribution of wealth that promote economic equality. That includes taxation. Okay, we did this. Yeah, okay. And then also they focus on political democracy. That means democratic governance, individual rights, and civil liberties. They insist all citizens have a vote in decision making through free and fair elections. Also, they support political pluralism. Political pluralism means there are more than one party, political parties. Not like, communist and socialist. They have only one party, political party, right? And also they active participate in civil life. And then we also, social democracy focus on social justice. That is reducing social inequality, also related to race, gender, class. That policies promote equal opportunity and fight against the discrimination. they make sure that marginalized groups have also access to resources and opportunities. Okay, lastly, also the social democracy theory focuses on the collective bargaining for the labor group. And then also they focus on sustainability. Okay, let's see, collective bargaining, that means they are supporting the rights of labor unions. And then collective bargaining is essential. It is workers, they negotiate better wages and working conditions, which means they are contributing to more equitable distribution of wealth. So collective bargaining means the labor worker, they negotiate their wages, working conditions through their unions with employer. That is collective bargaining. Also, sustainability means they are also concerned about environmental issues like climate changes, and they insist keep the sustainable development policy. Economic growth does not compromise environmental fair for our future generation. Simply, they say economic growth is important for the better life of citizens, but more importantly, they like to keep environment clean, undestructive for our future generations. That is their focus. Okay, let's just keep reviewing video of social democracy. Quick video.
The Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftungs Academy for Social Democracy explains the relationship between the welfare state and social democracy. This is Juliana. She's an active campaigner for social democracy. But what do its core values, freedom, justice and solidarity, really mean for the welfare state? In a democracy, all citizens have the same rights to freedom, security and participation. This means that everyone can play an active role in politics and that in the eyes of the law, everyone is equal. However, in order for everyone to be able to exercise their rights, the welfare state must create the necessary conditions. For example, everyone should receive basic material security and have access to education and information. The welfare state thus turns a democracy into a social democracy. A welfare state is made up of three components: financial services such as pensions or unemployment benefits, social services such as medical care or education, and non-cash benefits such as medications. These components are financed using tools such as taxes and contributions. Depending on how these are distributed and combined, the architecture of the welfare state can be changed. The Danish political scientist Gosta Espin Andersen split these into three types. The liberal welfare state can primarily be seen in the USA, the United Kingdom and Australia. In this model, the citizens are strongly dependent on earning their own living by any means of work, as there is only a basic security net of social services. Only those who can afford it are able to take out private insurances. This means that there is a rather big divide between rich and poor. The conservative welfare state is often seen in continental Europe. This model clearly distinguishes between different occupational groups according to income and gender. It primarily favours the archetypal male single earner. Modern family models and types of work, as well as working mothers, all fare badly in this system. Scandinavia is characterised by having a social democratic welfare state. This is funded by high taxation, but the best social services are provided in return, irrespective of income or social status. Public services in sectors such as childcare or healthcare are accessible for everyone. This means that this model is best equipped to ensure freedom, security and participation for all of its inhabitants successfully. It is the ideal of social democracy. However, the welfare state is just like a house. It is never finished. The world changes continually, and so too do its demands. The welfare state must always adapt to deal with globalization, economic, demographic and social changes. It must use smart redevelopment to do this, not a wrecking ball, so that it does not become an old building, but rather a modern living space that's worth fighting for, just like Giuliano does. You can find further information and other resources about the topic of the welfare state on the Academy for Social Democracy website and on the Department for Economic and Social Policy website. Everything from, at, and with the Friedrich.
Okay. All right. We just finished the brief of the history of political theory, okay, which started ancient Greek, right? We were talking about the Plato, Aristotle, right? Okay, they were doing with the idealism, right? And then let's got the philosopher rules, philosopher kings. We talk about it, and then it goes to another theory we were talking about was the Machiavelli, right? Machiavelli. We were talking about Machiavelli. It was about ruling the states, right? We were learn about political pragmatism. Then also, the more importantly, the way the ruler govern the state using the power aggressively is more important than the leader's personal ethics, which means to succeed in ruling the country, leader can use any legal violence to opponents or enforce the strong ruling power to their citizens. That is Machiavelli's idea. Okay, so we were talking about the Hobbes social contractism.
오늘 마지막이에요?
No.
정리해 주실래요?
Yeah. so far we were talking about, and social contract theory was Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, John Jacob Rousseau. We were talking about it, about for everyone's true completion of their fulfillment of their potential, everybody should have contract with others. That was expanding to the government. Contract with government, right? That is social contract theories. Let's say everybody without the rule and order, maybe there might be more conflicts, more argument between people. So we have to make kind of rule and order. That is social contract theory. Also, we were talking about Adam Smith, right? Adam Smith. He is the father of modern capitalism, right? He argues that the free market that brings all social welfare must be accomplished by a free market. That means small government, right? Government also regulates, but minimum interference their economy. That is free market. Okay, he insisted that idea in Wealth of Nation, Kukburu. That is his most famous book. And then we were talking about Marxism, right? Karl Marx. He see the economy, the governmental system in different way. The main idea of his Marxism is the political organization is built on the basis of economic relations, not like philosophical, not like social movement. How people make the relationship in economic system, that is the key reason. The government and social system is built. Also, he sees different stages of historical materialism, right? He used it. It was historical materialism. He argues economic basis on society is the foundation of social, political, economical structure. That is his idea. So when the economy grows, the capitalism grows, eventually it's gonna collapse automatically, but it was wrong. But his more main focus is about inequality. It was produced by industrial revolution. So he tried to eliminate the inequality, injustice in economy. That is his main idea too. Then we also talk about the materialism and idealism, right? The matter is essence of the world. Because I am exist as a material. Right? My thinking, my idea, my philosophy is the result of my body's brain work. That's the example of materialism. Idealism is mind. Our consciousness, spirit is fundamental. That is idealism. I think we did this one. Okay. Also, we were talking about industrial revolution, right? It was between 18th to 19th centuries. It was technical advancement, the change of the society from an agrarian culture economy to industrial economy. Before that, people just do their economies with agriculture, right? Plants, animals. But with industrial revolution, the society was dramatically changed to industrial urban system. That is industrial revolution. Also, it has produced many problems too. Also, at the same time, it gives many good benefits to people and society, as long as it gives inequality between classes too. So, some people think about there should be, solution about this inequality. So some people says what they try to make the system. It is about social democracy. Social democracy is just not like Marxism. Marxism was the change of system by revolution. Quick changes by labor classes. But the social democrats, they see the failure of socialism and communism. So they just adopted the idea of reducing inequality between classes and social welfare, social justice, economic justice, fair economies. They just borrowed the idea and adopted it to capitalist framework. They don't want to change capitalism to socialism, right? They want to keep capitalism and then just borrow the idea of Marxism, that is social democratic theory. Okay, so that was a brief, history of how political theory has been developed. So now we want to see more about the state, the country. Okay, what is country? What is a state? Okay, by talking about this, people now practicing this idea, state and sovereignty. Actually, the paper I brought, they affect, that influence modern society, modern system of politics. Okay? So let's see the definition of the country, definition of the state, definition of the nation. Okay? So when I say the state, that means country. Country Korea, country China, country Japan, country United States. Okay? You could say also nation. What is your nation? My nation is Korea. Your nation is Japan. Your nation is China. Something like that. Okay? But all those words fall into state. Okay? State is academic, political term that means country, nation. Alright? So, we're gonna see what is the state? What is the definition of state? Here in slide, it says the state is first political entity. That is something it has politically organized. It has also political practicing. Entity means is something that has like living organism. Okay, when I say my entity is what is about myself, it is entity. Okay, so entity means something that has life, like biological, creature, but it is not actually biological creature. Okay. So the state is political entity, something that is like living creature, not like biological creature. Okay, so that is actually organized system of government that has power to make decision, and also it has power to enforce the law of the defined territory. Okay, all countries have their territory, right? Border, yeah, and population, people, citizen. That is state. Also, it has primary structure. That is the political entity, which is state. State is the main structure that has authority to exercise, and their political power is centralized. So the state, it has kind of right established institution like government, court system, and security system, army, system, police system. So they are forcing to manage society, maintain the order, and also they regulate the relations within and outside its border. that is all about definition of state. Okay, let's watch quick video of definition of state.
What is a state? First of all, it must be noted that scholars do not agree with a single, universal definition of the concept of the state.
Okay, there are no single explanation about the nature about scholars. Okay, but in this video, most popular idea that defines what the state is like.
It's widely used in political science. The term state refers to the community or society politically organized under one independent government within a definite territory and subject to no outside control. Put differently, a state is a community formed by people and exercising permanent power within a specified territory. In the context of international law, a state is typically defined as being based on the 1933 Montevideo Convention. According to Article 1 of the Convention, the state as a person of international law should possess the following qualifications. 1. Permanent population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. And 4. Capacity to enter into relations with the other states. What is a state? Responsibilities. It was not until the 16th century that the modern concept of the state emerged, especially in the right. His religious, cultural, political, and economic needs could be satisfied. These cities typically defined as being based on the 1933 Montevideo Convention. According to Article 1 of the Convention, the state as a person of international law should possess the following qualifications. 1. Permanent population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. And 4. Capacity to enter into relations with the other state.
Right? So the government, the state means there should be people. Also there should be territory, land, right? And then government. In here, government relationship means a sovereignty. Okay? My computer time. It's time to change.
What is a state? First of all, it must be noted that scholars do not agree with a single, universal population. 2. Defined territory. 3. Government. And 4. Capacity to enter into relations with the other states. As is well known, the history of the Western state begins in ancient Greece. Plato and Aristotle wrote of the polis, or city-state, as an ideal form of association in which the whole community's religious, cultural, political, and economic needs could be satisfied. This city-state, characterized primarily by its self-sufficiency, was seen by Aristotle as the means of developing morality in the human character. The Greek idea corresponds more accurately to the modern concept of the nation, that is, a population of a fixed area that shares a common language, culture, and history, whereas the Roman res publica, or commonwealth, is more similar to the modern concept of the state. The res publica was a legal system whose jurisdiction extended to all Roman citizens, securing their rights and determining their responsibilities. It was not until the 16th century that the modern concept of the state emerged, especially in the writings of Niccolò Machiavelli and Jean Bodin, as the centralizing force whereby stability might be regained. In The Prince, Machiavelli gave prime importance to the durability of government, sweeping aside all moral considerations and focusing instead on the strength, that is, the vitality, courage, and independence of the ruler. For Bodin, Machiavelli's contemporary, power was not sufficient in itself to create a sovereign. Rule must comply with morality to be durable, and it must have continuity, that is, a means of establishing succession. Bodin's theory was the forerunner of the 17th century doctrine known as the divine right of kings, whereby monarchy became the predominant form of government in Europe. It then created a climate for the ideas of the 17th century reformers like John Locke in England and Jean-Jacques Rousseau in France, who began to re-examine the origins and purposes of the state.
Okay, here's the ideas. There are no single explanation about the state, right? We see, Aristotle also was talking about state, and Machiavelli also talking about state. Many other scholars, philosophers, they were talking about state. But in here, as you see, to define what is state is like, it has at least three elements. First one is population. There should be people, citizens. Second is the territory. They have the border with land. And then third one is sovereignty. Sovereignty means the government. And then they controls, they regulate the relations within the people and outside of their state. People outside of their state. That is sovereignty. Let's read the handout I gave you. Here, definition. The state is political entity that has authority to govern. State is power, authority to rule, to people, to rule the territory that is state. Also, it has possessing the sovereignty. Sovereignty means authorization and power. Let's say some people say without the sovereignty, without any element of those three, then my life, that is not defined as a state. So all three elements, at least, we can define with those three elements as state. Also, here the definition of sovereignty, that is spurring independent authority. Sovereignty means spurring highest power, independent authority. Nobody can tell you, no other country can tell you, hey, Korea, you have to do this, you have to do that. Okay? Or some people say, hey, North Korea, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. No. North Korea have their own authority to rule its territory to the people. That is sovereignty. China has China's own authority, highest power authority. That is a sovereignty. Okay? United States too. No other country tell, hey, US, you guys do something, for your people. No, it's nothing like that. Okay? So sovereignty means independent. No one can tell you, you have to do this. Okay? And then it has its own power to govern their people, the territory, without interference. Interference means interference. Somebody tell you to do something. That is interference. Okay? With your own authority, with your own self-decision, with your self-power. That is sovereignty. So it is a foundational principle of international law. So everybody, every country respect the sovereignty of China, sovereignty of Japan, sovereignty of Korea, sovereignty of United States. That is international law, general law. So that means state has exclusive right to exercise full control of its own affair, like political, legal, military, economics, in defined territory. That is sovereignty. Understand? Right? Yes. And then let's go over more about a sovereignty. State is sovereign. Sovereign means it has sovereignty, okay? That means sovereignty means ultimate, highest authority. The authority to practice the idea, the systems to the people, to the land of the territory. The supreme authority, highest authority. That is sovereignty. So it is also independently active, right? No other country interference with, hey, you guys have to do this. You guys have to do that. No, that is no exception. So sovereignty means the state has a final decision maker, right? About their affairs, like political, legal, military, and everything. Everything happens in that territory for the people in that country. That is the only highest authority. That is sovereignty. Okay? So there are two different kinds of sovereignty. Internal sovereignty, the state's power to govern its own people. They have authority to make the law. Also, they have authority to enforce the law and maintain the order. So it control of everything within its border, its territory. So it has law and tax, right? Even parking tickets. Also, another sovereignty means external sovereignty. External sovereignty means recognition. Okay, when other country recognize Korea has a sovereignty, means Korea has independently authorities to govern, to control its own land, its own citizen and people. That is recognition, okay? External sovereignty means other countries approve, recognize Korea has its own sovereignty. China has its own sovereignty. Japan has its own sovereignty. Okay? That is external sovereignty. Also, when we talk about the state, first it should be having sovereignty, right? The highest supreme authority, that is sovereignty. And then also territory, right? There should be land. And lastly, the people, citizen. Without any of those three things, we cannot call state. All right? And then, chapter 3, let's see more about what the state does. All right? Function of the state. Centralized authority. That means the state has, okay, I also have a translation in this handout, Korea and Chinese, okay? So centralized authority means the state has centralized institution that control governance. Okay, centralized the institution. What is a centralized institution? For example, most country has executive government, right? President and cabinets, right? And then another branch is like, the Congress, right? Also, the third one is like, court system, right? No, within that territory, you have more than one court system? No, only one court system, right? That means centralized, highest institution. Okay, let's say, like in Korea, is there other Congress system? No, only one Congress, right? Is there any other president in Korea? Only one president.
If two, what happened?
They're gonna fight.
why? 잘할 수 있는 거 아니고 양쪽 시선에서 아니요?
No, we
두 명이 대통령은 좋을 것 같을 때.
in history there are no kings in.
안 해봤으니까 안 해본 방법으로 계속 망치고 있잖아요.
Okay, you could try,
망치고 있잖아. 그러니까 얘기하는 거.
but we learn from history. It is really hard to practice with two kings. Okay, So that is a centralized authority. Okay? Only one president has authority, right? Only one court system has authority. Only one Congress system has authority. That is centralized authority. Also, we have legal system. Every country has legal system, right? Constitution, the basic law of the country in their society that regulates the political process and elections, lawmaking, political participations. All citizens engage with state through what? Voting, elections, right? So every country, every state has a legal system, voting system, election system. Also, modern democratic countries, they have also what? Political organizations. As political entities, they organize structure, power relationships in society, regulates political process, such as elections, right, lawmaking. Civil rights. We talked about this here too. Also, and the citizenships. I live in United States since 1992. So I applied citizenship in United States. And some other country, they accept the double citizenships too. I also have Korean citizenship too, right?
진짜? Because you finished military service.
Yes.
그렇죠. 오, 가능해요 이제.
My record is still exists in Korean government, right? So exercising their right is a little different, depend on the countries, right? Anyway, I have a legal citizen in the United States, also Korean citizen too. But more likely I am, American. The year that I lived in America is way longer than the year I lived in Korea. Okay, also monopoly, it is important. Monopoly on force. Only one power, the force, the military. That is important. Police system. Are there any other police system in one country? No. What about the military system? Only one military system that has supreme power to enforce the legal violence to their people, to other country. That is monopoly. Okay, only one force. So that holds exclusive right to authorize the use of the force, violence, legal violence by the government within the country. Or that means that state has police, right? Police system, military system, right? Security forces. So if we violate, maybe we are locked in prison, right? That is also enforcing the force to the citizens who violate the legal systems. Also, recognition, legitimacy. Legitimacy means 합법적. Okay. So the state must be recognized both internally. We recognize any other president right now? No, right? Only one president in the United States, right? How about in China? Are there any other president? Xi Jinping, is it right? Xi Jinping? He is the only one president.
대표님
In China.
두 명 하면 독재할 수가 없다니. 그냥
So that is recognized by the people, by the citizen in that country. And also externally, that should be recognized. Other countries recognize. Korea has only one president. China has only one president. United States has only one president. Okay, legitimacy means 합법적. It is based on the legal system and then authority system. Also, it is recognized legally. That is legitimacy. And then there are also important things about branches of power. Okay, so far we were talking about what is the states, what is sovereignty, up to chapter 3, right? Sovereignty, a state means it has people, land, territory, right? And then sovereignty. Those three things are main element of state, right? Also, we were talking about a little bit of sovereignty. Sovereignty means the highest supreme authority to practice their legal system to their own people, to their own territory. Okay? So, the state has centralized power, centralized institution like legal system, court system, Congress system, executive systems, something like that, right? Now, more about democratic systems I am talking about now. We are talking about chapter 4. In this handout, 3 branches of power. What is the main 3 branches you know? In modern democratic country, what is 3 branch? 3 branch. Oh. Okay, branch means 3 branch of government. What is it? Okay, I'm sorry, in Korea, 행정부,
그러니까
입법부, 사법부. Okay? In United States, executive. Okay? And then Congress and court system. Those 3 things are 3 branches of democratic country. Most country practice those 3 things. Okay, let's go more of the separation of power. That means principle of dividing government authority into 3 distinct branches. let's say president have all authority to control their own people and their own land territory. Is there going to be any problem? He has the highest authority. No one else has authority to practice the democracy. There might be a problem, right? Yeah, it is like almost the king in histories, right? So now modern democratic system has separate the power. No one has whole maximum power and authority to control the state. I think that is a good idea. So this idea is very, very important in modern days democratic states. Okay? So first we want to talk about legislature power. Legislature power is making the law. Who is making the law? In those three branches. What branch is making the law?
입법부.
입법부. Yes. Congressmen. They make the law, right? So this power is vested in Parliament. Parliament is also Congress. Parliament, that term is used in United Kingdom. Okay? When they talk about Congress, they use Parliament. But United States, we use Congress. Okay? So, or legislature. So, they represent all people, citizens, to amend the laws. So, the legislature branch reflects the will of people and lays foundation of national policies through lawmaking. They, legislature, the Congress, they collect, right, all demands of people, citizens. So let's make law. Yeah. I want this citizen ask, I want that, Okay, let's say nowadays the technology changes so rapidly, right? So fast. Computer develops so fast. Artificial intelligence, right? It grows so fast. Okay, now there are some people do their experiment with the human body, okay? Which is they transplant the head to someone else. What do you think? Is it okay? Is it okay your head transplant to someone else's body? Also, some scientists experiment with the memories of people, okay, with computer. They collect all the memories stored in the computer. And then they put the memories of someone else to someone else's brain. What do you think? Is it good or not?
몰라요.
So we need the law. That's why, right? Yes.
좋을 수도 있고 나쁠 수도 있고.
Yes.
좋게 사용하면 좋고.
Right. So you guys heard of clone? The animal clone is now practiced, right? Legally. But what do you think? Human clone is good or not?
좋게 쓰면 좋고 나쁘게 쓰면 나빠요.
Most countries they have bad. They have law. Human clone is illegal. most countries.
Why?
Someone else can create myself in another place. What do you think?
Fun. So I just want to know why they.
Okay, let's say there are two Hitlers. There are two Barack Obama. What do you think? So there should be a regulation for those days. Yes. So that's how Congress do for their own people. Law making. Alright? Also executive power. The authority to execute, enforce the law and implementation of national policies. The power is exercised by executive branches. The most common government of executive is president, prime minister. You know that, right? So executive branch ensures that the laws made by the legislative branch to carry out in response to day-to-day admission of the country. So it is something like that. Executive branch, they practice the law. Law was made by who? Congress. Okay, Congress made, hey, here's the new law, okay? So DNB, right? The branch of the government, right? DNB, you guys do practice the traffic law. Traffic law is made by Congress, yes. So that is the executive system power. Also, the military power is also included in executive power. So lastly, we have judicial power. Judicial power means court power. Every country has a court, right? Legally dissolve any kind of complex, disputes. So this is authority to interpret and apply law to solve disputes. If someone has violate the law, right? And then he get caught by policemen. So policemen see someone else violate the law and then putting him in prison. That is executive exercising the law, right? So law was made by Congress. Then someone else insists, no, I didn't do that. It's not me. I always respect the law. The policeman was doing something wrong about me, right? Then he goes to where? Court. Hey, judge. That is the court system. Who is right? Who really violate the law, break the law? The court system resolve those conflicts. So the power is exercised by the judiciary, right, comprising court and judges. The judiciary interpret the law, ensure the justice is served in legal dispute. So judicial branch practice citizens' right, right? Okay, someone say, I am discriminated because I am Asian, right? Some people could say, right? I applied position in the government, right? But my test score is higher than other people. I'm higher than, let's say, for example, white people, right? But I'm not higher. So I can go to church, right? This is discrimination. Hey, judge, you give us, the resolution about discrimination. So, hey, yeah, right, now you're right. You are more than qualified to work that position. Then judge court system say that is unfair. Then court order to government, hey, you guys did wrong. Hire none in that position. That's the court order too. That's how court does in judicial systems. So this mostly equally they divided power. 1/3. Okay? Let's say approximately executive branch, they have almost 33% of the power. And Congress has also approximately 33% of power. Judicial system also 33%. Most three branches, they have equal power distribution. That is important. So purpose and importance of separation of power. Here, the reason why we have to have separation of power. Here's the reason. Prevention of power abuse. Power abuse. Okay, let's say president is the only power he can practice 100%. That is power abuse. So each branch checks and balance others. Okay, judicial system, they watch Congress, they watch executive, okay? Also, executive watch Congress, also court. Congress watching executive court system. They check balance each other. Yeah. That is important about modern democratic systems. So, guarantee of democracy and freedom. By dividing power, the system ensures the protection of citizens' rights and liberties that reduce the risk of dictatorship, tyranny, dictatorship, 독재자, right? Like Saddam Hussein, he was dictator in Iraq, right? And any you call it many dictators. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, dictator too. Yeah. Training means dictator mostly use violence to rule the country. That is training. So it is guarantee of practicing democracy. The reason why we separate the power. And check and balance. So legislature, executive, and judicial branches, they hold each other accountable. Ensure they have fair, just government systems. Okay, here let's see example of checks balance. Okay, a congressman, all right, Congress, legislative branch, they check executive. Okay, congressman, they check president. Okay, here the parliament monitors government through budget. Okay, government makes budget, but they get to approve from who? Congress. So they oversight. Also, Congress have power of impeachment. Impeachment make president resignation. In Korean history, 박근혜, right? There was impeachment. Congress vote, hey, president, you do wrong for the people. You are breaking, you are demolishing democracy. So we vote, hey, you have to resign the position of president. That is impeachment. Also, executive branch also has check and balance to legislative. Okay, president, he can use veto. Okay, Congress make the law, it goes to final sign for the president. Okay, Congress, you guys made the law, but I checked, the law was kind of no good for the people. I'm not gonna sign it. Yes, that is check balance between legislative, executive, Congress, president. So president can veto laws passed by Congress. Interesting, right? And then judicial branch checks both court system, they check both executive, Congress, legislative. So court can review laws to ensure they are constitutional and can assess whether executive actions are legal. Okay, here. Korea has constitution, 헌법, right? United States have constitution. That is base, fundamental of every law and legal system. But Congress made a law, new law, okay? In Constitution says there should be no discrimination about race, age, nationality, right? That is constitutional. But Congress made law. Hey, if you wanna apply new position in government, you should be more than 30 years, or you should be living in capital city, Washington DC. That's the law Congressman made. Then court says that's not based on Constitution, because Constitution says there are no discrimination. Where are you from? What age you are? What nationality? What color you are? So the court cannot approve. If somebody asks, the law made by Congress was not based on constitution, so they can file. Hey, court, you give us answer. If this is based on constitution or not. So, judicial system, they watch. Executive also. Congress too. So, yeah, I think these are all about the modern system of state and sovereignty. Okay, and then we were talking about for democratic states, 3 branches, right? Executive, legislative, judicial, 3 branches. They have equally shared the power of the government, right? Authorities. And then they also do what? Check and balance each other. They check. These are all modern democratic systems. Now I'm gonna go with okay, I think we can finish here. Okay, next week I'm gonna go with a type of political systems, and then what is real democracy in 21st century. Okay, chapter 6.